Okay, we are recording. Justin, sir, yeah, we can get started.
I don't like the way it's spelled.
Yeah.
Soldering. No, I don't like it.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
If you're okay with it.
You gonna make one? My. Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's not used, the public scholars.
She's not the public.
Get 60-40.
I think we can get started, right? Or is everyone waiting for the speaker to come?
I think you can go ahead and get
Okay.
started. And everyone will just have to try and be really quiet while
Okay,
we're listening to instructions.
okay. Justin, try to say something.
Can you hear me?
Are we gonna talk about safety first or no?
Okay, yeah, we might need to go over like safety here at the beginning before we start.
I don't want to see how it goes. Right, turn on the maximum volume now.
Okay, Justin, if you're talking, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. So as far as safety,
Good from this.
all of our components are going to have leads on them,
You can change this.
and those are what we're going to be trimming off later. Whenever you're trimming leads, I do recommend you wear safety glasses or at least pin the lead down so it doesn't fly off. They're very tiny pieces of metal and they can be sharp when you cut them. But as far as that, the other safety concerns, obviously don't touch the tip of the iron. It's going to be hot. Avoid touching anything you just soldered because it will still be hot for a little bit. It'll cool down fast, but you can still burn yourself. Past that, I think that's about it as far as the ways you could hurt yourself. So I have already completed one of these. I soldered up a couple of days ago just to test out the kit itself. In the end, it will look like, oh, I need to zoom it. This camera is very finicky, so bear with me. But it's going to have all the components on it. It's going to all be soldered up. I'll show you the backside a little bit. And this one was passed around here for other people to kind of learn on too. So it's not the best solder job, but it still works.
Justin, if you're talking, we can't hear you again.
Yeah, I keep toggling the mute on my headset when I'm talking to Nat. He was just asking if I can hear you guys through my headset when you talk. Yeah. So if you can just let me know when everyone's about ready to start, I can start with the instructions with all of you.
We want the boxes open yet?
Yeah, but go ahead and open the boxes and get those all sorted out for you. You're gonna have a couple packages inside with components. And then you're also gonna have an instruction set in there too. It'd help if you just had that open so you could kind of see what I'm reading.
You're joining, signing people. Mariah. I wanted to work with students.
That's just a bunch
That's actually.
Did you all say? We have difference in your resistors here. Capacitors are like water storage towers. Electricity is like water. Yeah, resistors act like sand, water going through sand. Yeah. Slows the water down. And you got 3 gates. I'm not sure how they're using the gates. 2 gates. The fact that there's a multi. And your capacitors are polarized, so you gotta make sure you put those on right. Resistors are not polarized, so you can put resistors on in the correction you want.
Yeah, they can hear us. Yeah, they can mute us.
You should grab a kid.
So I've just been told we're only going on our side until 5, but once we show you the basics, if none of you finish it or if some didn't, you're gonna know
Yeah.
how to finish it on your own. We
Yeah,
just need to show you the basics, how to solder right.
right, yeah.
Okay.
And just, yeah, how to follow the kit's instructions, how they need to bend the wires,
Yeah,
etc.
bending the wires is the important one on the resistors.
What's the difference between the ohmage on the resistors?
Well, in our kit, we have 7 1.2 kilo ohm resistors. We have 133 kilo ohm and 100 kilo ohm. And you can tell the difference on them by looking at the bands on the resistors. I'm terrible at reading these. I'm not good at remembering the band system. There's a whole chart to it. But if you open our instructions and you look at step 1 in there, it'll tell you the color coding of the resistors to tell you which one's which.
So R9 is one of the odd, and R8, it looks like it's 33K.
Yeah,
And then
so
7 is everything else.
yep, R1 through R7 are all the 1.2 kilo ohm. And if you look at them, here. If you look at the resistor, you can read this. So it's telling me the 1.2 kilo ohm resistors are the brown, red resistors. And that's referring to this first band, the brown band, red. Gold is another one, and that just tells you the tolerance of the resistor. So a plus or minus ohmage that it was made to. But each of these ones, it has it listed there. So this is the 1.2. This is brown, black, yellow, and that is our 100 kilo ohm.
Brown, black, yellow.
Yep, these are all in your instructions. And then orange is our 33 kilo ohm resistor.
And if you forget this, it is in your instructions.
Yep. It's in your instructions in, I want to say 10 languages.
You put them, they want to know what, if the direction you put the resistors.
It does not. So resistors are a component where it doesn't matter which direction they're in. The LEDs do matter, and they generally tell you by the length of their legs, one is longer than the other. And in this paper that comes with it, it shows you the cathode is the shorter leg of this LED. So that's the negative side. The positive side is the longer leg.
So they're going to capacitors. Gold, black, brown.
This is a
I need a sponge.
Yeah, you might have to share a little. Just leave it in the thing and then he can just dab it. Yeah.
Whenever you get solder, you don't know where it's in it. The solder doesn't stick to the tip of the iron.
So you take your resistors. Yes, you put those in order.
Traditionally, one do.
You order like the direction.
Hey, Justin, I think we already have some people working on their resistors. You
Okay.
want to give a quick demo on how to bend the wires?
Yeah, so with the resistors, because of the way the board was shaped, you want to bend them pretty much straight down.
Yeah.
So you want the resistor to be kind of like that, just bend straight down, because that way you can slot it into the board
So this is
where you want it to go. Like that. But then once you have it through the board like that, makes it a little easier when you solder them to kind of bend them. So this way it won't fall out if you move it.
Do you guys see how we bent the resistors?
Yeah, opposite.
Okay, so around the center part, he bent it really close to that center piece that's in the middle.
The actual resistor.
There, there's the resistor, and that's how we bent them. And then stuck them through the board according to, so
So it does matter on which one you put them in on the board.
through R1
So-
through R7.
Yep, R1 through R7 are the same values, but if you look at the front side of your board, you will notice they're all labeled. So like there's R8, you want to put the correct resistor in these because it could cause a little bit of a unintended reaction. I'm not sure. I haven't done the math on it. I don't think it'll blow anything up, but it probably just won't work right. It'll flicker out of sync or something weird.
I think hardest part is soldering.
The direction of the
So I'm going to go ahead and solder in R2 here. I'm going to put it in there and show you guys kind of what I'm trying to do there.
Okay,
So I'm just putting it in there and bending the leads so I can get it to stay where I want it.
Yeah. We're gonna have to swap spots. Yeah.
And now, once I've got it through there, I'm going to come in with a hot iron and I'm going to touch both the pad and the lead itself. Because if you don't do that, you can cause a cold joint and they don't work very well. They might work intermittently, but not to the best.
okay, he's given the demonstration of how to actually use the solder right now. So he just did that one. And he's gonna show us the other side, hopefully.
Well, yeah, that was one end of the resistor and I'm going to solder the other end here onto the board.
All right, and then here's the other side.
Really?
So see how he touches the soldering iron to the
I touch both parts of it. I touch the actual lead itself and I touch the pad. And when I do that, I'm heating them both up. And it works the best when they're both heated up. If you don't, you can have weird adherence go on sometimes and it won't be a good electrical connection. So you'd have to come back in and fix it if it was a bad connection. And they're kind of annoying to track down and find out which one you did wrong. But you just want a good connection and you can tell it's a good connection because it's got a lot on it. It's got this kind of Hershey's Kiss shape to it. It's kind of hard to see on this camera. Now you can sometimes get too much solder. It'll pretty much look like a water droplet on the board.
Yeah.
This board, that's not as much of a problem because it doesn't have copper on both sides. If it had copper on both sides, it would usually kind of drip down the channel, make a big bubble on the other side. It could damage components. It could bridge things you didn't intend to. It's kind of something to watch out for.
Oh, this is.
I always think that.
The soldering iron, the metal.
Any questions so far?
Great stand.
Okay. It's a 300, it needed very fast.
Think you guys are good. Either you
It smelled like.
so.
So,
You have to-
One is we looked at all the offers. Where.
The best thing to do is I'll fold it down.
We're on that. So, when you go on.
There's no, gas.
This is a wet.
It's there for your day,
Don't burn your.
Is there another, soldering iron?
You think I use one, I'll probably share. Okay.
It wouldn't be too, that way.
Is there an extra thing of soldering?
Let's see. We might just have to cut some off of a wheel. Yeah,
Oh, you did get it? Sir, what'd you guys do?
How's it going?
It's like a,
It's not.
Not
Yeah.
yet. Okay.
How are you guys doing over there?
I don't know what that is.
Right, it just, it wasn't like the very. Yeah, I actually.
Okay, how's it working?
I'm just thinking.
Working? Okay, awesome. How's it going up here? Okay. And you can bend those wires. Okay. Sorry, you get it. You did it. You seem like they're working okay then. Nice. They were saying. Well, you there?
Is the oh, never mind. No, I get it. Right, use the R7, anything R1 to R7 is the loadout. Gets the, yeah. And then R8 gets this one, and then R9 gets that one. I get it.
Well, that's still doesn't
Dude,
It's, it'll melt.
Do you guys have any questions I can help with right now? I hear a lot of discussion.
Cool, man. Cool. Cool. What kind of other thing?
Yeah, I'm doing.
Oh, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah. And then. The solder is confident for the soldering iron to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna either way turn myself over.
You guys doing okay over there?
It seems like it.
So I've got something to point out with this board that's kind of weird. They do this every once in a while where they have these two pads touching. Most people don't do that. It's very odd. It's going to trip you up because you might think you've bridged it, you know, unintentionally, but this one's intentional. Whereas there are some like this.
So when
There's
they
no-
put their dab of solder, the two bits of solder are supposed to touch, are you saying?
On that pad, yes, but on this pad, no. It's kind of a weird design. There's actually a space between these two where there's no copper. And there's also just no green solder mask to like delineate it. So you could look at this one and kind of mistake it for one of these ones. All you
Yep.
need to know is these ones are intentionally bridged. It's something I would never personally do if I made this board, but the designers did.
Okay, good to know.
And
Thank
also
you.
when you have these double ones like that, I've put a
Okay.
little blob of flux on this.
I don't think
and-
we have any flux.
You don't have any flux? Okay.
Okay.
Well, you would use flux if you had something like this or like a really big pad. And what the flux will do, it will lower the surface tension of the actual solder, making it flow more easily. So it would want to fill the pad much more than just on its own. On its own, solder will want to try and act like a droplet of water. It will want to beat up, but the flux will stop that. It'll help you solder things better.
Okay. Thank you.
What's that? Are you trying to undo?
As short as possible. Right, hold your contact to angle. I'll give you mine. And then the solder, so. The biggest question is solder. There we go. Sorry. We want to work on really. Is on measure the solder forming and then covering the other holes.
So like the green part.
So I just intentionally did a bad solder joint here. If you guys are curious to look at, this is what you would call a cold joint, where the pad was hot, but the actual lead was not. So instead of adhering to the lead, it's adhered mostly to the pad. And again, this will give you a bad connection. So to fix it, you want to come back in and make sure you have heat on both of them and add more solder to fill in the gaps.
Yeah. You might get right then. If you're running out of fuel, I have more fuel too.
Might need some more. I'll grab some. I do. Okay.
Through the wire.
Yeah.
Smells like benzene.
Yeah,
Now.
it smells like flammable. Oh, there. I couldn't reach them all, so I just cut them all.
Okay. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not smaller, no.
Instead of being like.
The whole different.
Yeah, I understand the need for safety. Send traffic, like, passing traffic.
Why you always in a big time?
Or telling them versus.
Oh,
Yeah.
So if you're, any of you are curious, I did actually just burn the board a little bit with this joint right here. And that's because the iron itself touched the solder mask instead of the pad. These are generally okay, but you don't want to burn everything. It can interact with circuits if you burn it a lot. But if it's only a little burn like this, don't kind of fret about that. That's okay. It's part of learning control with it.
Uh-huh.
Orange, this is the.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, yeah.
So I'm just going to keep kind of soldering the resistors on, showing people if they still want to see more kind of how I'm doing it.
Wait, hold on. It has to be.
Now that we have the actual wire clippers, you can like bend them all.
It's not one of those.
If something's happening with it.
They're on, it's just gonna do it, that's completely different.
My resistor fell into out of it.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, how do I know which, I'm gonna solder. That's why someone needs to, that's okay.
How do you know which what you're soldering?
Touch the actual like ball of solder.
I'm just trying to get this out.
How much there? We do it every. Oh, they saw it in the.
And now, if any of you are on the LEDs already, I'm going to caution you. Because you can put them in backwards and they won't work. So the instructions will show you how to put the LEDs into the board. It's going to show you the flat side of the circle.
He is talking about putting in the LEDs.
The flat side of the circle is where you want your cathode, which will be the shorter leg on your LED. So you take the shorter leg and you put it in that side. And that's going to be the correct orientation.
Which is the shorter.
Okay. That answers the exact question you just had, which is, how do I know which one?
That I thought I heard something about polarity. Yeah. So you want the short leg into the side with the line. That's it.
Yeah.
And then just keep going. And for reference, the capacitors have the polarity actually on the board. But when you read a capacitor's polarity,
I have
at
many
least
lost.
thin metal film capacitors,
I have like five.
you'll see this side, it'll have this negative sign on it. That's telling you that the lead that is the negative lead of the capacitor.
I've got like a bunch of supervisors, we all go by different titles. We're all-
Okay.
And the one who was filling out the W-2s didn't know my name.
All
Like,
right.
yeah.
So once you guys get to,
Those Jaden, like, I think they're alone.
Hmm,
I need some gasoline.
okay, yeah, go ahead. Directly down.
I did the same thing.
Okay, so capacitor, they have inputs also.
Hard to be afraid.
But it doesn't have a little negative arrow.
I guess me.
And then, right, this is the one, shorter side is the cathode, it goes in the flat part of the circuit. Right next to the hole, so you're really making that whole plan off. Really good.
Okay, so there's one, they don't all go down. So we should
And
buy-
whenever you guys feel like you have too many of these extra leads from the components you've already soldered in, go ahead and put on your safety glasses. And then I like to grab it by the nippers at the base and then grab the other end of it and hold it. That way, when I cut it, it doesn't go flying off. But sometimes you can't quite do that, so you just kind of have to let them fly off sometimes.
Yeah. They don't, oh, no, I guess they do. that.
What's the word?
They're part of the bend.
Oh, by the way, that one.
No, no, they bend. Part of the bend. They bend down. You never felt the circuit board?
Yeah. All right, thank you, boom. Now, this is how it's gonna be.
Yes, I'm stealing these for the.
Like, I wouldn't control that one. So we went one way back, we like. Get your things and you saw the. Yeah.
I was verified as well. I was verified. Yeah.
What garden?
How's it going?
Yeah, no, I'm sending these back, so there's like
It's like
rocking
need a different wire cutter.
over
Okay.
into the, you know,
That's fine, yeah.
they're again,
How's it
rocking over into the shadows.
Going well? Awesome.
One, tiny one goes in the plastic. Or in the circles, like there is the flat side,
Oh.
the tiny one goes in the flat side.
Yeah, that's short and in the direction. And then also, I don't know, if you caught that other side, we were talking about the plasters, so there's. In here.
Yeah.
So with this joint I just did, you want to kind of be careful with these ones. Because you don't want to have too much solder to where it blobs over onto the other one and blocks the hole. Because once you block those holes, they're usually very frustrating to unblock. So it makes it a little harder to do your soldering if you fill in the joint hole.
I got a question, boss.
Yeah, go for it.
Are all of these LEDs daisy chained or is the current pulled individually?
It's a little of both. If you look at your papers, you'll have an electrical diagram up here in the corner. These LEDs are broken into 7 branches. You have 3 over here and 4 over here.
No.
So they're kind of daisy chain, but they're also in series. They're in
All right.
series and in parallel.
To expand the question a little bit, if I had the power hooked up and I only had 2 LEDs on here, I'm probably gonna pop them, right?
If you only had 2 LEDs, probably not, no, because there would be no path to ground. So even though you're giving them positive power, they have nowhere to draw the negative from. So it can't actually operate that way. Now, if you took one of those LEDs and touched it across the 9-volt battery, yeah, you'd burn it out.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Where's the LV seven? Yeah. There it is. You could, but. Yeah, I put a bunch of some of this out.
Is that only worth
And
Oh, man. Wait, don't tell me anything. The Eagles. No, man, come on. Are you just fooling with me or what? Yeah. Oh, I mean.
Come on, man. Soldering, like
Okay.
laying them down.
Okay.
My dad had a bunch of records and we went through my, long ago, he's got, Blue Barn Day.
Okay, do you need it right now?
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, well, I'm not gonna turn it on. Then I'm just put it over here. Now I'm gonna have that stuff. Thank you very much. People are putting together photos. That would be a lot of work.
Right, here's a just from when you saw it, the video of short. Yeah. Tell me all.
A person who will not be named has, was asking about the leads, cutting the leads off. And how short, and like if that, I don't know if you can see
Okay.
that.
So here's ones I've cut off. And it's pretty much right at the top of the solder block where you
Yeah.
kind of, you don't want to leave a lot left, but you just want to just get it right there.
Okay, so it
Especially with
looks,
this project, because
you might be able to cut these a little shorter is kind of what I'm thinking here. I don't know if you can.
yeah, I have to look at the other computer. Can I make this? It looks about fine.
It looks okay.
Looks about fine. If it doesn't quite fit, when you're at the end screwing it on, you can always just come back and trim them shorter.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But when you're doing that, I would really recommend the safety glasses because you can't grab onto those anymore. They're gonna go flying.
So he had basic. Okay, so right on top. Right. Okay, you say you're welcome. Throw in the ring.
So like maybe get like that. And I'm going to say, yeah.
No, like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I did all of mine. Everything I wanted. Aside from,
So I can show you guys real quick with this LED I just soldered on, kind of how I usually trim them. So I'll grab the actual lead. And then I will come in with the nippers and get them as close as possible to the solder blob. And that's a good cut. You won't have a whole lot left there to catch on anything. just whatever little burr the nippers themselves put into it.
Get that nerve like you already took it out. So, yeah, what I'm waiting on is any of that. Well, that's fine. Basically, why we have to charge. Caught you in water. Okay, so these are making sense. What number? What is this, like certain number? Letter sequence for red LED?
That's what I'm hearing. Don't give me bread. I will always be ready.
When I laid it out on YouTube, it's sequential to the first one that comes out of there.
God. No, don't.
It's hard. Done this, well, been over doing this. Yeah. That's a little sign. I like the cagey dip of benzene all of it.
Yes.
Have you, you did something else?
Oh, something I didn't note, most of your solders are actually going to contain lead. So don't eat without washing your hands.
Okay, guys. You want to make sure you wash your hands after this because the solder can contain lead, right?
Yeah, it will most likely contain lead.
Yeah. So make sure you wash your hands after this. Great.
Why is the door open?
Because it's
Like it's
burning, smelly and burning. And these are so hot, they're warming themselves by themselves. I'm jealous. To.
Actually,
They're- it just-
quite the working, what's that?
Yeah.
Working conditions, like, hey, do you want to be more?
Very, people are definitely. But you can cover their own.
And I'm like, awesome, but cold. But, you know,
Finally. Right.
all the rest of them.
Have directions? Or what are- The directions are not, like, it's not laid out like in words a lot, like. Where did my instructions?
Is there questions on how orientation goes on some of these objects or components?
So far, I think we are still working on the LEDs for the most part, and they got,
That's gonna be the majority of it. It's a lot of LEDs.
yeah.
If I don't, okay, but no.
Undefined apart. Why do you guys grab? I'm thinking.
He's like, oh, I
I've only lived in this country for like 14 years almost.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some of your wire there.
All right. No, like.
Not.
Well, it'll be on. Yeah, you're determined I can. Second. You're really worried about it. Damn. Well, science is really. Math.
Hired and that stuff.
Oh,
And start going with like a voltage meter and like measure each one, make sure the connection is going the right way. And then if it is, you know, like when you find the one that isn't, you gotta like, okay, well,
Yeah.
that's messed up, nothing I can do about it.
You need this one?
You had a question about the.
Really?
Yeah, basically.
Did we have extra? Like,
Level 2, that's it. I feel like
If I have an extra light, because I don't think.
Oh my gosh, I just realized we don't have it. We have to know better. Uh-oh. I didn't know.
It looks symmetrical. Symmetrical.
Ah.
I wish the.
Dude, when I like, I must reach start pulling them out of the smoke detector. And or make my.
They're.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, yes, I will. I mean, one extra is fine, and then just give me the receipt and I'll,
Okay.
work on the,
Yeah, no.
thank you so much.
15 or 10.
Yes,
I've got to run, but thank
Okay.
you. And then we'll connect with next week and
okay.
talk about the videos. Yeah,
Sounds
appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
What you've done, Natalie, how wrapped up that cord is.
There you go, puppies. There you go.
That's the beauty. That's what I was worried down.
Yes.
I think I think that. Maybe.
I don't know.
I said, what do you guys think? You're halfway done?
Maybe. As long as I think someone gets.
Do I have to
All for. People within. Maybe from.
You guys are all experts, right?
No, you guys got lucky. My class was today.
Did it get canceled? Okay, cool.
Otherwise, I'd be all right.
How many did you?
Have you seen the photos?
So the card season three. Well, Tom was my instructor, not every day.
He's ready for.
Okay.
Way back. And instruction card is extension. I only find there are minus quarters. Morning, but. Oh, you're not looking. No, I am. I just don't. I don't know. That's my daughter about that. Basically. What's part of the kind of. Well, you know. Yeah, you have to call them, private. Supper, man. Supper. Here you were the, whack. That's your punishment. You're on the upper, you can't put a wall. Upper. So. What type of salt? No, man, NaCl. NaCl. Well, I said, go to the floor. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try to bring it on. Yeah. That kind of thing. Use it in the pixel. Light bulbs. You don't have to watch it. But watch,
What about the, oh, yeah, no, this isn't as complicated. I don't know. Do you think it was, goes in the exact way they should have? Because I think that's what it does. It's gonna be wrong, it's gonna be the exact opposite. This is, no, this is. No longer.
No.
Alright, what are we doing now? Almost understand during the meetings. Yeah, I feel it's. Still, they're part of it, you know. Yeah.
They're making.
What, drink that?
I was trying it myself in construction.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, no, that was totally good. That's what I got. What's the? These are gigantic. So, you know, they don't have baking soda. Yeah, the only thing we could try is. Was a reason why they.
Literally making it.
Oh,
Just those two, right? Fine, bring it on.
Yeah, we do a Halloween thing there.
well, Saturday.
Why do we have wires? Strippers?
Yeah.
Why don't I do that? That makes no sense. No, there's not.
Yeah.
And I would like to, when you stand up, make sure you watch your left shoulder.
Okay.
Safer.
Yeah, it started.
If funner is not a word that is safer.
We're gonna see. Practically, it's like not that very good. It starts to borrow somebody.
Starts at 4?
Yeah, it starts to form a something that.
Yeah, is an object. A yacht is an object. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, do we know? Stop your meeting to file.
It does look very good.
One bar. Let me catch up. We're all gonna take one still. And make it look nice, yeah. Well, yeah, and also to be structural too. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why welders. Huh? There's a reason why welders. We're good.
Yeah, that's what I would.
For high expectations. Also welding. This- Is that what you did? Did you stab, get yourself to lots of it? I would have like plugged it all in. No. Finger.
The station wagon, often in the cell.
Wait till you get faster on that wire.
Yeah. Oh, now I have one.
Oh, that's right.
There's no. What is
Right. It heats a little, but it did not heat well enough.
So when you solder, it's good to have your station clean or like organized. So our station that Justin is having here, he separates all the cutting LEDs pins out on one side and putting on all the components that needs to be soldered on the left. So he just make sure you like mix up the things and like it doesn't get in your way. So yeah, it's just a good practice to follow when you solder. So keep the station clean and organized. Yep.
It's one of these projects where it's like one short.
Oh, yeah.
I started, don't know when I started.
No.
So, yeah, maybe try and grow it.
Boss man.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna become a common activity.
Soldering? I don't know. I'm thinking we can probably have another one, because we still have like some parts left. And for people that might need to finish up. Oh, okay.
Yeah, try. Yeah.
So what happened with the other end? Because you're.
I think, no, it says a little shorter. I'm trying not to.
Okay, we have someone who is at the battery stage.
Wait, so they're all the way at the battery?
We have one person who's at the battery stage, yeah.
Okay. He had just measured out. I did one without cutting the wires. If you don't want to cut the wires and worry about it, where'd the example go? Sit over there. So I can show you just what it looks like without cutting the wires. It's just gonna hang out a little bit in the front there. That's all it's gonna really do. You can do it without it. You don't have to cut it. You can just put them in there and solder them.
She started to cut the wires, and then we have some wire strippers, but they don't seem to be small enough for the.
Wire, let me check what wire size it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, these strippers are small enough.
Okay,
for them to-
you might have to use those then.
We can just keep our
Yeah, go ahead.
turn next time.
Yeah, I'm thinking that we'll have another event so that people can finish up if they haven't finished, or and other people can do them. Yeah.
I went around, took those clips and threw them away.
The practices go.
So the clippings, yes, okay.
That's not what I want.
Oh, you don't have your other resistance? Okay. So the orange, gold resistor goes in. No, just, yeah, it goes in R.
Could go to Eastern like on the 22nd with a person who doesn't gear up stuff here on campus. I figured, is there anything that you would need to go to Eastern and chat with anybody over there with?
I don't really think so.
Okay. We're going to check in with our folks. Anything like that?
We're trying to organize a trip there for the spring, but Jason was kind of looking at the food that really.
I literally have 2 things to solder and I will be done.
So for the person who cut their wires already, something you can do is if you have an X-Acto blade, you
Mhm.
can kind of think of it like you're whittling wood. You can whittle the coating off the wire and do it that way. It's not the
Okay.
best, but I think this wire is probably 26 gauge. So it's pretty small to have wire strippers for these, but you
Okay.
can kind of do it that way.
We might have one set that works.
I don't have a set here that goes that small, so maybe, but we'll see.
Which one did you use?
The 25.
The 20.
It's like second.
Okay.
For next one, I can bring the 2 solder inside.
Yeah. And then if not, apparently you can also use an X-Acto blade. And we do have some of those. But I hope I don't have one.
They add more beauty to this.
Yeah.
Careful. This one.
We have a screwdriver.
I do. Okay, let's see what fits. All right, this is what we got.
Now this, everyone.
Here's the smaller one.
This.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I am a furniture door. Working for my property.
No, that's fine. Nice. Okay, now we're going to the battery.
Or.
His- I grabbed my batteries.
So we have the one I completed earlier, and that's just showing you it in operation.
Awesome. So the finished one is up on the little screen over here. That's what it looks like once you get it done.
Blinking. So hearts on my eye.
Yeah, you have to put the 9-volt in for it to finally start working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's been big friend there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but somebody did that, saying.
Yeah,
Here to get it for that, I just-
Bringing out a lot.
But,
Yeah.
Terrify me at all. I tried to check my desk and see if I have any 9-volt batteries.
Do you have a power supply there if you want to test it that way?
You don't know.
So fun.
But you don't want my, you want my number. Goodness.
Epic. Okay. Yeah.
I just didn't know.
What do we do for batteries?
Dory's looking for something.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So try this first. No idea why there are batteries in the drawer that are like that. If that doesn't work, I have some that are actually still in the package.
Yeah. It's good.
Old battery, like. I know, try it first. If those don't work, I do have some that are still on. All right, so old batteries, let's see if they work first. And then I have a few. In case of-
Beautiful.
Let me screw the shoes and take those.
I don't know what size you need, but.
Yes. Yes, I have. Yeah, mine get there, not for mine, I can get there before my time, so. You have no idea why they were in the room.
So what kind of page? Was it over the? It was over the normal page. If it's over the next.
Oh, there you go.
It would not. But those are, these two are.
Not this year. I don't think we're doing any.
It's automated. Yeah. I think it would make more sense.
Gonna do Amy, so how do you fix it? I didn't. And.
This is one,
Oh, I have the. That's good. I'm ready to wait for your other.
folder.
That would. Yes. Oh, I put so.
Thank you.
How do we clean up, Sarah?
Whoa.
Did you call me Sarah?
Are you not Sarah?
I'm Dory.
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was like, are you somebody else?
Anybody, Sarah, and you're quite
Okay. Well, yeah, just a couple of little clippings and. No, you can leave those out. You would take our survey. I have cookies and brownies and dessert, or if you don't want one of those, also just take our survey because it would be awesome. All you have to do is hold your camera over it, so you don't even have to like have a special. You just hold your camera. And then. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's like,
And this goes to your.
Oh, okay, we'll take that.
Everybody's gonna need to use that.
Oh, this is the one you use for the battery. Like, that one, that's it for you. The short one goes to Yep, and then they kind of like wiggle around.
Oh, yeah, and then. Is always on.
Got it. You got it? Okay. Yeah.
No, not always. I get, that makes sense, but, I've got 4 bulbs, they just, oh no, 5 bulbs.
We got one finisher over here on this side, so,
So really.
yeah. And this is what it should look like too. So, yeah, you have to, you might need a 9-volt battery to test it. So, and make sure the connection of the LEDs are correct. Like the short pins is on the flat end, right? There's the short pins is on the flat. And so,
I think that's what happened over
for the LEDs.
What do you mean by short?
Short pins
The shorter pins, yes.
goes on the flat.
Yeah, it goes on the flat side. I thought you were talking like short, like electrical shorts.
Yeah.
Did you guys get the wire? It was broken when I got it.
Yes.
When I took the battery.
So for anyone who hasn't done the capacitors, I can show you how to bend them if you want them to fit into the actual footprint on the board. So I generally just kind of stick them in. Longer leg is positive on this too. And then I bend it down till it looks about right.
Yeah. I mean, I remember super deep.
And so that's what it's kind of supposed to look like. Doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't matter if it's straight up. It just looks a little nicer. It's a little flatter.
No, no.
Wait, it's 20 bits. I got the, I took the wire cutter and just kind of like. Agitate it. Also. It's careful to love the wire.
Have a good day, David.
Or so what I did is put screws in the floor first and then we got.
No, that one, those are supposed to be for this one right here.
Yeah. Hard foundations when they have hard. Well, okay, not half, it's uneven. Oh, no. Got my fix that, but like,
Yeah.
also, I'll give this a, feel like.
Oh, yes, you get dessert now.
Yeah, none of the.
Okay. So we have one done on our end. Let's see if I can hold this properly, but the 4 of the
Nice.
LEDs not working.
4 of them aren't working. Can you tell me which ones they are on the board?
They are LD 13 through LD 16.
13 through 16. That's the one that wasn't working on my prototype board that I did. So I have a feeling it's just a bad design maybe, but I can walk you through on how to fix it, but you would need a multimeter.
Oh, yeah, I don't think we have a multimeter.
Okay. Well, I don't need to troubleshoot, but
That was.
So it's like strict.
This is yours.
oh, that's the one that I problems
Yeah,
with.
this is called.
Was Carl's not working? Carl's fine.
Oh, okay. All right, we have another one where 4 LEDs aren't working, but this one is LD 9 through LD 12.
9 through 12.
Yeah,
Yep, so
So-
that's another leg and that makes sense. It's gonna be one of the connections on that branch. If you guys can look at the schematic that came with this, it tells you which is which LED on there. And so 9 through 12, well, it's not gonna, that's too zoomed in. I can't show them on that. But 9 through 12 is one leg of this, and I can, you're gonna have to really focus that. It's not gonna,
let's see.
I
does
don't
any-
think that's gonna work.
All right,
But
so
no,
we-
it's gonna be
have
the same. Oh, you have
Right.
this schematic there? Okay. So LD 9 through 12, if you look at it, that is
Uh-huh.
your third one in from the left. You can see those are all 9, 10, 11, and 12. You're gonna have a bad connection on any one of those points, and you're gonna have to figure it out by putting a battery in it and then probing the voltage at each point. So if I were to probe here at A, I should have 9 volts. So this should be
Okay.
9 volts.
so we
And if
have
I probed here between LD 9 and 10,
to have her
I should
here.
have probably 7.2.
So maybe if we do the next one.
And then if you do here, it'd be another lower value.
Well, that's the positive negative.
And here, there'd be another lower value. And here, another value. But if you
Mhm.
use the multimeter, you could measure the voltage at each one of these. And then if
Mhm.
one goes really, really close to 0, that's probably the bad connection. So that would tell you, like if it was this one right here, I would know either resistor 3, one end of it has a bad connection, or
Mhm.
LED 11. It could be reversed. That's also another option.
Okay, one of the LEDs could have been put in backwards.
It could have been. You can visually confirm that, but it's a little annoying to do. It'd be easier again with the multimeter. You can do continuity testing. And when you touch it to either leg of an LED, it'll turn it on. So that's how you can tell if the LED was bad or backwards. But what are we doing?
There's also this one that's not flashing. It's half.
Ooh, we have one that's not flashing.
Not flashing. Is it on? Like, are any of them lit up?
On, yes.
I can't tell where the camera is.
This, is-
Oh.
and it's half off, it looks like.
Oh, weird.
That is a weird one. You probably have an issue with your transistors.
I think they damaged the board a little bit on the back, but I don't, what happened with the camera?
Yeah, so Nat's showing you the device that's most likely the issue there, because these devices are what's actually doing the switching back and forth.
The controls.
They're the controls of the actual circuit. Either they could have been put in backwards, but yeah, if they're put in backwards, it wouldn't work correctly. I don't think you can really mix up the pins just because of the way they're shaped, but I can't quite tell what happened with that one. I'd probably have to be there in person to fix that one. I don't quite know why it's doing that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I-
the most problem, yeah, check those connections.
Yeah.
The first thing.
so on the board, it looks like they had a mistake with the soldering iron or something.
Mhm.
Or maybe it was just a defect with the board, but
Mhm.
one halves is not like. It's raised a little bit, and I'm not sure if it's.
Oh,
fully
the pad itself is raised.
Yes.
That's a disconnected pad. That's something you can have happen with certain boards. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a problem, because if the pad's raised, it's probably disconnected from one of the traces, which is the lines on the lead away from it. If it's disconnected from a trace, it's not gonna give power to whatever else was in chain with it. So you could look at that pad that's raised,
Okay.
trace where it goes on that circuit board. And you could, if you had a bit of spare wire, solder that spare wire into that pad and then into the pad that it connects to. That might fix it.
I don't know if we have any spare wires or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had to do on mine. The test one. If I can get this off. I had to do some
Yeah.
surgery
Yeah.
because the pads
So-
completely came off of that one. So then I put an LED in there and bent it down over it and put it to where it's supposed to connect to.
Yep.
And then same with the other end.
I could try to bring it even closer here to try to see.
It's just not, it's not resolving in a quality that I can kind of tell what's going on.
Okay, so if we have any extra, then try doing that, but if not, then can I have to accept a half-filled heart?
Yeah, it's, yeah, I'd have to be there in person to do some open electronic heart surgery to figure out
Okay.
what's going on with it, because it could be a couple of things that's happening. I'm just not sure what's happening.
Mhm.
Because whenever you add transistors, they can
They
can
can
do
be
some very complex things, but they're very finicky with how you set them up. They
Okay,
want everything to be just right.
okay, so I'll hand it back to the person. Dory, should we give them a? We'll get it figured out. Thank you though.
Yeah, yeah. That's the kind of the problem I've had with some of these. The quality's not the best on some of the parts, so it gives you some issues. You have to kind of diagnose what's going on and why.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Spending an hour on a private visit.
Well, yes, when we have tested some, because I found these old baby ones in the drawer. There was like a pile of like batteries with tape on them. So we've tried those and yeah, they have been working, but we have.
This one does not.
Yeah, it was no flashing,
No question.
no flashing. But
Well,
like,
here, try one of the new
all of
ones.
them except,
No, that's about it. Just about it.
yeah,
This one
the
doesn't.
battery works.
Oh, not working at all.
Yeah, which means
Something.
resist, not resist.
So, Dory?
Oh, yeah, I know. You have a, in part, you say. Your heart is like you need to raise it. I don't know why it's like. Yeah, yeah. Oh, again, you have a pacemaker, possibly, you know, new valve. So. It also. Yeah, we're gonna find out. Yeah, but we are gonna have to do it again. So I tested it. It wasn't like. I got everything else.
So the LED that you tested it with did light up?
Yeah, light it up when I went one way, but it, I mean, like, it lighted up when I turned on one that I did work, okay, but when I put it on, any work either way.
That kind of makes sense though, right? That's just one, that's the problem. It's either backwards or just a not a great circuit or something, I guess.
Yeah, so if there's anything that comes up that I need to cover, Eastern, let me know. And I'll do it. Otherwise, I won't.
Awesome. Bye, Rafa.
I gave my battery to Adam.
Okay, if you need a new battery, I have batteries.
Are we supposed to solder the wires?
I think I soldered.
Awesome, okay. Cookies, dessert, what grab whatever.
Oh,
you
that's
want.
so much brighter. Got like four, they don't work. Slightly. Yeah, really, I got too pregnant.
Y'all mind if I swipe this, soldering line? Thank you.
I only need to. I'm telling you, then I was gonna go get her a big push.
Go ahead.
No. We can't trade because yours is better than mine.
If you were, like, one of the soldering kits that I got was like a full kit, it had stand, sponge, that sort of thing, some different. A
A little bit like that.
little bit, wet, but this is like a zip up kit, like.
Mm.
It was, I wanna say $15 to $20 or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen them. It's just that these were free. And I'm not sure how many soldering events I would do.
I'm just saying, in case you decide to do more.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
I'm already thinking of trying to redesign this kit in general and just make a better one and print my own PCBs of it. Because this one was just kind of frustrating.
I think they're.
A little bit, but I think overall it's pretty good.
But those ones are still able. to-
Well, it's weird because they made it single sided. No one really puts copper on one side. You usually put copper on both sides. That's just not smart because it makes a really bad mechanical joint. So if you shake these around a lot, it could break.
Yeah.
But if anyone still hasn't done the transistors, I kind of bent one up to show people kind of what I do with them. I take that
Yeah.
middle pin and bend it back.
Yeah, I just helped someone with that and I had him do that.
It makes it a lot easier to slot them into this. Because you don't have to worry about trying to get the exact right spacing. You just get the back one in and then slide the other two in. And even if it floats off the board a bit, you're fine. It's in there.
Playing with live wires.
Yeah.
I'm constantly just constantly be on.
What was it?
Oh my gosh, I had like legit, not they had like actual memories of
Beyond what you were doing.
making surprise. I don't know why. It wasn't like, you know, the feeling of deja vu. It was like the feeling of, wow, I hadn't dreamed about this. Yeah, but the dream.
I'm missing. Yeah. I'm missing
Some, and then.
Well, but we know what
or-
we're
or
calling.
some.
Oh, yeah, if I never, but I impacted. Yes.
Yeah.
But you know why. I another day.
Wire.
That's what they use now. 300. Okay, I should probably go home if I was supposed to be home already. In children.
Yeah, that's part of the training.
Yeah, turn it up more. I'm going to 400.
All right.
And Drop them off first, like, kind of one is right. You drop it off. Apple and.
Well, yeah.
Which is not. You know.
This is not.
You can't feel it. It's neat, isn't it? When I was here. We were.
All right, I finished mine and I got it all working. I didn't screw it in.
Oh.
But it's working.
Go to Amazon and look up soldering iron, buy the cheapest one, honestly, it will work there.
Well, I just want to believe. It did. Unless you were like feeling gonna get.
Figure it out. Maybe it's more like.
Another way, I mean, what that.
How did it turn out?
No, it's still not.
It doesn't want to blink and then, D14 to 15 don't let.
That was weird. What'd you do? Did you touch something? What were you touching?
Yeah, I'm touching. The which one did I touch?
Right? I'm guessing it's pressing against something in the back. And then when you're pressing on it, it probably is moving.
Where it shouldn't be. I mean.
So try unscrewing, yeah.
It's 75.
Out of fuel?
If any of the. If any of the tips are such a. Yeah. Like grounding with something. They're done.
And then I do this thing.
How's it going?
We got it to bleach, but it was actually.
Yeah.
What was the?
All of these. Like,
Okay.
together.
Oh, yeah. I need to take some pictures.
Oh,
So
right.
so lost them and let me just It's just gonna be still right, it's not gonna, so you won't be able to tell.
Do you want us to get you a place? Yeah, I might text you again.
So that was a video.
I know I was.
Now. the-
1450, 1600 dollars. The circuit.
We try to do,
Everything's.
You know what? I think I should, that doesn't work.
Wait, I wanted to do something with that battery, the one that I started out. I don't know why I was holding
um, I think when the Big Ben group is done, we can try to take a picture online also, like a group picture with our Zoom.
What you did is definitely have some problems.
No, we're saying they got it. Like, we can have it.
It must wrap.
Hey, Justin. We,
Yeah.
some that are not blinking over here. Do you have any idea what the problem could be? Is there?
Adjustable setting.
Is it just full on?
Oh, there's adjustable settings.
No, Adelise is,
And it changes again.
Adelise changes.
Wait. Is it blinking sometimes and then when you touch it, it starts to blink or stops to blink?
So hers is how tightly she's screwed it in. It looks like it's changing whether or not it
So
blinks.
that's a loose connection. So that's what's
Oh.
happening. You're adding mechanical pressure to a connection and either fully completing it or disconnecting it. And you basically need to take the battery pack off, just unscrew it from it, and then go back over your connections and kind of make sure they're good connections. So
Okay. How do you figure out which one is the bad connection?
let me go grab one to see if I can point one out.
Oh, never mind. Apparently she knows which one it is.
Yeah, I have one.
Well, do you want to solder, resolder it?
It's like a green. It's like.
Oh, there's too much solder on it.
We have an example on our side too. One of our boards is not working and it seems to have a similar problem like
Uh-huh.
yours. Justin is grabbing the board.
Yeah, I got the board now and I need to find the joint I want to talk about.
Well, we have that. Have you seen that solder?
So this
board?
one right here,
Heat it up, like-
get a pen.
Where is that? Where do you find that?
Oh, yeah, I can do this too. Nice. So this joint right here, I can show you guys, is a bad joint. It could be something like this. You see how there's solder on the pad, but not connecting the pin really?
Mhm.
If you pushed on this pin hard enough, it would bend and touch the pad. And that
Yeah.
could be causing the connection to be made. So what you would do, I can show you. You would just come in here,
Dory?
heat it up,
Okay, hang on. Sorry, one sec.
more solder.
That's the.
And that's how you would fix it?
Yep, you would just heat it up, add more solder and make sure it's fully connected. Let me see. Here's kind of another one I can show you.
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay, so see, he's heating it up right there.
I heat it up and add more solder. And I know it's good because I cannot see like any gap between it. It looks complete solid.
I
I've also got something that helps me cheat. I can zoom in with this microscope, so it makes it a lot easier to know when they're good or bad. Like there's another bad one. If you shook this enough, it would probably break. Same if you put pressure on it.
So which one? Can you point to which one you're talking about?
Right there.
That
You see how
one.
you
Oh,
can see that hole there? You
Yeah,
want
yeah.
that to be filled in with solder.
Oh, okay.
So I come in, heat it up, add solder, and you're done.
Okay. Okay, I will see you in the morning. Bye.
How we gonna? I'll be glad to see you.
We need those wires.
Oh, okay.
Are there any?
Yes, there's, we have one.
No, I.
It's kind of cost, I heard it off. Yes, I didn't think I was gonna need it there.
Yeah.
Don't turn back on. Full dial. Yeah, it's like a-
Thursday.
it's a flat phone.
It's like a fun pile.
But I voted too much.
I think this one's fine. You can also burn, you can see it out of the bottom. So. Yeah. Because I think I burnt the contact around it too much. And I think we contact with that. But, which is why I was looking for. I gave it- It goes with each other, but it looks fine.
Okay, I'll get my words.
I'm eating chili.
You're on.
Just slaughter.
Okay, here, sorry. When I was moving it around, they have, they don't move them.
Good evening.
Well, I think it's just that.
Yeah, so it's very, I think most of you guys need more.
No, but you can wrap the extra around.
So. I don't know. You know. If it's not, then we're thinking, is Jim Wisdom in this one? But if this one's wrong, these two shouldn't be right, but if this one's right, this. Should be right.
Screwed right around.
Oh.
Oh, look, I got a little bit out.
Yeah. Wait, bring her down.
It's okay, so it's okay. No.
For that, we might have
If this one- So if I assume it goes down like this, if something, well, I had, so if all of these ones are right underneath express, I think if this one's wrong, these two should be right.
I think he was saying that it something is, it could be something. So let's just bring it up and ask.
Yeah.
I realized what mine did.
Excuse me?
That would be.
Okay,
Okay, all right. So what do we have? We have lights out at
9 through 12.
9 through 12. All right, we have to wait for Justin to get back.
Oh, what'd you need? I was explaining something to someone else.
So we have the one where lights 9 through 12 are out.
Yeah,
So what he needs to fix it is, we need to be able to have a multimeter.
yeah, you would want a multimeter and you need to have a battery too. So you
You're
would put the
saying-
battery in it and that would give the circuit power. You would then take the multimeter and you would start probing along the leg of that branch at the contacts and seeing what the voltage is there. And as soon
Okay.
as it like jumps to 0, you probably have a bad connection between those 2 points. So either shore up the solder on those points, or if it's the actual circuit board itself, you might need to bridge between those 2 paths with an extra piece of wire and just
Okay.
solder that in. Basically taking place of the trace that's bad.
So we don't have a multimeter, but we have a voltage reader. Would that,
Yeah. A voltmeter does it. That all you need to read is volts, but you need to have a power source to plug into the board.
yeah, so we have a battery in it.
Okay. Yep.
And how do we check it? Do we just touch
Well,
the,
so this is what we have. I don't know.
So
You can see that.
yeah, that should work. You're going to want to have the black one on the ground of the battery. And then you're going to need to identify where lead 9 is on the board on the front side and go to the back side of the board and touch the actual lead.
So which side is the ground of the battery?
The ground of the battery is the black wire.
Black.
okay. And then I touch the light 9.
Yeah, you would touch light 9's positive.
Positive is the.
So I see it, it is,
And then we're looking for a light up here.
Yeah.
Okay, here, is it easier? You got it?
So,
Is it lighting?
no, I don't think it is.
Okay,
that
try.
won't make it light. We're just trying to read the voltage there because that will tell us where the problem is. It is this pin right here. You want to touch with the positive of that voltmeter.
Yeah,
Right. No, we're saying that our whatever reader thing that we have here has a little light. That's all we have. It doesn't read anything. It just has a light bulb.
Okay,
It's just a tester.
okay. You would need something that could give you a numerical value. Because that's how
Okay.
I'm going on this. You can do continuity testing. Like that's how I first tried to troubleshoot my board. I tried continuity testing and they all had connection. But when I went back and looked through it with node voltage testing, I noticed it went from the negative of the first lead in that chain was 7.2 volts. When I touched the positive of the next lead, it was 20 millivolts. So that's a complete loss of power. That's basically no power. But if
Yeah.
you did continuity testing, it would still be technically contiguous. So it
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to figure out that problem. You'd have to look at the numbers and whenever you see the big drop that's not expected, that's where your problem is.
all right.
Okay. Well, there's probably a multimeter somewhere on campus that I can borrow. And then you could bring it to the next one we do, and then maybe you could figure out,
I think I have one at home.
oh, yeah?
I could
Okay.
probably.
Yeah.
Thank you
You could
then.
also just Google just troubleshooting lights or stuff. You might find something that can show it a better way. Because
All right.
this is all self-taught for me too. I was never taught soldering in class and trying to debug bad joints and all. It's kind of a self-taught thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I soldered last quarter and my teacher just let me do it on my own. So
Well, there you go. Yeah, see?
kind of self-taught too. All right, thank you though.
Yeah, no problem.
So that means something has, like, that's missing pressure. Right?
Yeah. Right. I was just trying to problem solve that.
I'm trying to get these last two things soldered. And I'm gonna be really close, and then I'll have to undo all my ugliness. Thanks. Is yours working any better now?
No, we need something we don't have.
Oh. Yeah. Well, in general.
So there's like one over.
Okay,
I gave the screwdriver to the loaner.
some of them were. Is there anything else? We probably need to start cleaning up. It's already 5:15. Yeah. 5:15. Yeah. They turn high on the rabbit trail. And we have the. Where did those strip breaks go? We have, the one that's to the All right, so it's number 25.
No, I need.
24?
Oh.
Smaller. And then it's big. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and grab.
I got all my internal.
Okay.
That's not bad.
We'll have another event so that you guys can finish up. Thank you. So go ahead and keep your heart and all your materials.
Okay.
I got things to do, bro.
And I'm also gonna try and get a hold of a multimeter so that if you guys have any,
Oh, we have.
I'm in the physics lab.
okay, we have them in the physics lab, so I will grab some for next time so that we can hopefully debug your boards.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Fun.
I think it was good as it's gonna get.
I need
How's it looking? Hey, that's not bad. I've got four.
All right, everybody please start cleaning up.
Well, I think I need to check in. Like,
Yeah, let's see, it's over here. I'll just drag it in.
Yeah.
oh, no. I think I just won down and saying to bring you. Another one. It's okay.
It's not to cut it.
Even that, I think over my house. Oh.
So that then you have the wires going out, and then you solder it, and then you did some people, and then you.
Before you leave, scan the QR code.
Fill out your survey.
Yeah.
And then you can get up some dessert once you fill out your survey. On your way out.
Thanks for being here, y'all.
Looking at, asking me about my.
Maybe not going to think about that. It's not a pasta.
It's no high school.
As long as you know.
As long as you have wire.
If you do your surveys well, and you centralize them, you only have to ask each question once. And then you can keep the data.
It's more confused now when you open up the wire there.
So I put maybe.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, I'm at it.
Yeah, and I'll also post them. Post the information around.
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then, yeah, I'll make sure to email the list. Hopefully you wrote legibly. All right, well, we are cleaning up on our side. And then I think we're gonna try and have another event. We're figuring it out, when we're having another event.
All right, just let Esteban know and he'll let us know.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know, yeah, obviously you guys may or may not be meeting then, but if one of you guys was available to just give us some tricks about once we get our multimeter, how to use it, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we can do that.
I will let him know and we'll see if we can coordinate.
All right.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your help today.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
And we are gonna head out.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Know what I was thinking on this?
Hmm.
I was thinking to add another one. I'm not gonna do it, but to put add another one and control to see how it's going to toggle between both of them.
Um,